Hey, comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0. And guys, it's been a couple of weeks, but you're back, and you're back for another episode of After the Poll. This is episode 9, right? And yeah, hold on, let me get this title up real quick. There it is, After the Poll, issue 9. The Golden Girls kick the X-Men ass. Yes, it happens in that issue, and we'll talk about it in a little bit. So, guys, welcome to the show. If this is your first time on here, this is the live stream where I talk about the comics after the poll. Do they live up to the hype? Well, I can't talk about all of them because I couldn't read all of them, but I wound up reading 6 of them, and the ones that you saw in the thumbnail are the ones that we're going to be talking about. But in case you didn't check the thumbnail, here's what we're going to talk about today. So the first one we're going to talk about is Young Justice, issue 11. Can't talk. The next one will be Venom 2099, issue 1. Next will be Batman, issue 84. The one after that will be Dead Eyes, issue 3. Next will be Marauders, issue 3. And then last but not least, guys, we're going to talk about it, X-Men, issue 3. So those are the books that we're going to be talking about today. So hopefully you guys are excited for them. Just in case you guys don't know, there are spoilers. So again, spoilers. You have been warned. So I have to ask everyone, please subscribe and like to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, I got some crazy text. So sorry if I'm a little bit distracted. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, like the channel as well, guys. It's greatly appreciated. And if you like to, and if you're in any position to, if you want to donate to the channel, that's greatly appreciated as well with the super chat. It takes the channel a long way as I'm trying to expand on this channel. So thank you guys so much in advance. Hopefully I'll have a good show for you today. It won't probably be as long as usual. I got some things that I got to take care of today, like picking up my kids and all kinds of stuff. So yeah. All right. So let's see who we have on the show so far today. We got a lot of comments already. All right, guys. So welcome to the show. So I have Jacob. Is that how you say your name? And I have Lawrence Gonzalez, who's got a seat in the front row. And he also said that his comic shop didn't get the shipment yesterday, going to go today. Hopefully they got him in. I hate missing out on a good week. Yeah, that always sucks, man. There was a lot of snow this past week and stuff like that. So we'll see what happens. Woohoo! Some good books there. Dead Eyes was fantastic. We'll definitely talk about it. Coffee Breath is in the house. He says, "What's up?" And my good pal Cheetown Bud, always giving the thumbs up. That's right. And I just wanted to say that I did get a $5 super chat in here as well. It's popped up here. I think it's from Rob. And Rob says, S-U-O. Does he say sup? There it is. So thank you, Rob, for that $5 super chat, man. That's so appreciated. He says, rocking it, dude. So thank you so much. It does. It helps so much, guys. Lawrence Gonzalez says, hey there. And let's see, what else do we have? Two Gun Pedro says, morning, Mike. So it's still morning wherever where Pedro's at. Lee Smith says, what's up? Says I'm a virgin. Yeah. And Terrified Cup says, hey. Rob says, just kidding. Venom 2099 rocked, and Marauders as well. So here I have Rob's super chat there. And Mark says, hey, Mike, watching from England. What did you think of the recent DC what does that say? I don't even know. I don't even know how to pronounce that word. Call me illiterate, I guess, right? And K Crawl's on the show. He says, for me, DC and Marvel lately have had some good, some bad books, and the indie comics have been really strong. I definitely agree with you there. Guys, thank you so much for watching. 17 people right now. And again, give this video a like and sub to the channel. Let the comic book community know that this show exists. Let them know that Mike Spider Slayer exists. And like I said, at any time, if you want to throw in that super chat, if you can, again, it's greatly appreciated. So let's talk about some comic books. Now, did you guys have a good Thanksgiving? I hope you did. I hope you spent a lot of great time with your family and did all kinds of great stuff. Got some Black Friday deals and things like that. So I did. I got some good DVD stuff. It's actually going to be wrapped up and put under my tree. So I can't show it to you, but maybe I'll make a Christmas haul. Okay. And also, I just wanted to say this too, that I am starting a new series starting tomorrow. It's going to be kind of like a monthly series. And it's going to be a preview series. And the first series that I'm going to be, or the first previews book that I'm going to be actually talking about is going to be this DC previews book, where I'm going to flip through it and I'm going to show you the books that are coming out for February. And then the next one we're going to do is the Marvel one. And if I have time, I'll do the Independents as well. So hopefully you guys will check that out. It's already recorded. It's already on my channel, and it's done from an overhead point of view. And I still got to work out some tweaks to make it better as time goes along, but hopefully you guys will check it out. So thank you for that. All right, no more stalling. Here we go. Remember, I can't do a long show, so I got to keep in mind that for today. So the first one we're going to talk about is Young Justice, issue 11 this week, guys. So how many of you guys are still actually reading Young Justice? I am. This is one of the few Brian Michael Bendis books that I'm actually reading. Here's the actual cover here so you guys can check it out. This time around, it has Naomi in the book, okay? And in this issue, we get to see Naomi wind up meeting the Young Justice characters for the first time. So we wind up seeing that in here, okay? And what happens is they all stand around and they do a lot of kumbaya. They're like talking with each other and whatnot. And Drake is out there looking for Stephanie Brown. He's like, Stephanie, get in contact with me real quick because I need to get in contact with you. I need to talk to you. And, you get to see these texts throughout the issue. And it's kind of cool seeing this interaction with Naomi, seeing our young heroes, introduce themselves to her and kind of learn about her powers and how new she is at being a hero. And that was kind of cool. And then the artwork was all right in the issue as well. Nothing to scream at, I guess, when it comes to the overall story, though. It's just a lot of talking head stuff going on in the book. But again, it was all right. I mean, this book is nothing great. It's just, I want to read it because I feel like it's going to get better. So what happens in this particular book is Superboy comes across the scientists that actually winds up, I guess, transporting him to that other world. And he wants to go confront her because he remembered her from how long ago. So he goes and he confronts her, okay? And we wind up, he's so stupid. He like trusts her, and the next thing you wind up seeing is that he winds up getting sent back to the same world of where he came from. It's like, really, dude? So we're going backwards in this story? So he winds up going back to where he came from. The Young Justice team winds up confronting the scientist in the issue, and then what happens is they're like, well, we got to go after him again, And it's like, okay, like, really, where is this book going? So now Superboy is gone. So who takes place as Superboy? It's going to be Naomi. Naomi's going to be in the book, and it looks like now they're going to be going after Superman again. So there was nothing really special about this book that I was like, wow, man, this is great. And I continue to read this because I want to like this book. Have you ever had that feeling out there that you really want to love a book and it's just not that great? It's not bad, but it just seems like it's there, and I don't know the direction of it. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, Young Justice issue 11 was kind of a letdown. There were some good moments in there. I don't know what's going on with the whole Stephanie Brown situation. Like, she needs Drake's help, because that's what Tim Drake calls himself now. It's just Drake. So yeah, we'll see what happens with it. All right. So let's go to the comments here. Let's see what we have. All right. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's more than 7. All right. Let's see. Rob says acetate. Acetate. He's trying to pronounce that cover name. Thank you for giving me that language, that lingo there. It's hero time. 1234 says, "Hey Mike, just tuned in. Did you read 2099? Really enjoyed it, as well as Dead Eyes. Absolutely did read it. That's actually going to be the next book we talk about once I go through the guys' comments here." And Rob says, acetate. Acetate is the clear plastic cover, DC. Oh, is that what they're calling them? Okay, I never knew what the official name for them. Rob, thank you so much for getting that right for me. I really do appreciate it. And he's like, nope to Young Justice as well. Pereiro Comic says, my shop didn't give me the DC previews. If you get this particular book, okay, this previews book right here, what comes inside should be the DC previews and should also be the Marvel previews. That should be inside the big previews book. I don't know if they did that. Maybe yours was missing it, but I just wanted to make sure you knew what you were getting inside in case you haven't bought it before, if you were looking for like those individual ones. All right. It's hero time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pass on Young Justice as well. So we don't have too many fans of Young Justice. Deathbringer, so much hype, and was a stinker. So sorry about that. And I bought it too. And I was thinking about reading it and reviewing it, but I was like, oh, I got burned on the Blue Beetle one. And so I just didn't decide to read that one yet for the show, at least anyway. Okay. And we have Sleepy Reader 666. He says, hi, Mike. He's on the show. Long time YouTuber, long time friends with each other. We've communicated from time to time. It's been a long time. I'm so happy he's actually watching the show. Welcome, Sleepy. If you guys haven't checked out his channel, I don't know if he's still doing YouTube videos, but you can check out his YouTube channel. He's got some great stuff there. K Crawl says Young Justice has been an okay title, just not that into Bendis. DC titles at the moment. His writing is all over the place with his DC titles. I agree. I think he's got too much on his plate, and it's suffering from it. It's just he's got at least 13 titles going on right now, and you're kind of just like, everything is a stall. Everything is an actual stall. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with Bendis. Do you guys think he's going to be in DC forever? I don't know. I think they're really relying on him. All right. Andrew says, taking talking head stuff in a Bendis book. I'm shocked. That's what he does best, man. That's how he's able to write 13 different books, because nothing really happens in them. And so he's just like, oh, we're going to stand around, just do this with that, blah, 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 blah. And it moves at a snail's pace. Coffee Breath says, Bendis took on too much at DC. He did the same thing at Marvel as well. Rob says 20XS is 2020. Okay. I should know my room roll. I can't talk. I just can't talk. Numeral Roman numbers. I can't talk. I'm just stupid. Great to catch you live, Sleeper Reader says. Okay, so that's the 2020 books, I guess. Okay, that's what Rob was saying. All right, so since I can't talk, let's just move on to another book right now. All right, let me check my text real quick, and we'll move on. Trying to do 3 different things at once today. All right, so the next book we're going to be talking about, guys, is this one right here. Venom 2099 issue 1. That's a pretty cool looking cover, as you get to see a Venom symbiote there, and then you get to see a little strand of Venom in an Acclimax tube. So whenever Acclimax is, or Aquamax, however you want to say it, is involved, you know there's no good in here, okay? So we get to see a new Venom be born in this particular universe. And this book is written by Jody Houser, so it was a pretty well-written story. And I guess if you read a Venom book, you kind of read them all, unless it's Donny Cates's version of it. But it was a decent story, okay? So we wound up learning about this girl who is doing a medical trial. She's got scars up and down her entire body. She was in a horrible accident, okay? And her father works for Acclimax, and she's part of these clinical trials, like I said, and her name is Leah. And so what happens is we wind up finding out that she winds up getting this piece of the symbiote attached to her arm, and it's supposedly supposed to cure her, okay? And once she's bonded to it, we can see that she's having the dreams of everything that has happened in the symbiote's life. But the scientist winds up saying, oh, this is all part of it. This is the experiment. You know, this is like a side effect. So, yeah. So that's basically what happens in that part. And we wind up finding out that, of course, that she heals. And she's just all, you know, happy. And her dad's so happy. And they're like, oh, we can move on from this and whatnot. And so while they're keeping tabs on her, Acclimax is, she has this particular bracelet that's on her. Well, she confronts the school bully, right, Flash Thompson, and she winds up breaking the device. And so what happens now that the device is broken, it unleashes the Venom symbiote, which is like only partial of it. It's just like it can cover her arm. I guess that's how small of a strain it is. So Aaliyah, she winds up freaking out. She's like, I don't know what to do. And, you know, she winds up making or kind of bonding with this symbiote after she tried to cut her arm off and do all kinds of crazy things. But the symbiote gave her a glimpse of what has happened to it. And they feel that they have a common bond with each other. And so what happens is the symbiote wants to be whole again and doesn't want to use its body as an experiment. So they wind up infiltrating the actual Acclimax lab. The symbiote winds up meeting up with the main scientist and sits there, breaks all the little pieces, break out of the tubes, and we get to see our new Venom wind up being born. And of course, it's a female. So this version of Venom is in 2099 is a female version, and she was just really creepy, really horrific. Like I thought it was fantastic. And, you know, the scientist says, I promise to delete everything that has to do with the symbiotes and everything else. And he goes, good, then I'll spare you your life. But that's not the case. He winds up freaking eating the scientist anyway. I thought that was pretty badass. And then we wound up finding out that she, you know, that she has a new friend. And then you also find out that Null is still alive and well on planet Earth. That's the kicker here. So Null is living somewhere on planet Earth. And that was the issue. So great one shot. You know, it's just a matter of those things going, you know what, do I want to spend $5 on this book? Because there's so many other books. And do you really care about the 2099 universe that makes you want to, you know, go ahead and buy it? Now, my thing is if they're reintroducing all these characters, my thought process is there's going to be a 2099 universe out there for readers. whether it's a Venom series, a 2099 Spidey series, or the, all the other one shots that are coming out, or just a 2099 series in general. I think maybe that's why they might be doing this, or it just could be for nostalgia reasons, or they're just trying to experiment and to see what happens. So good read. It's very typical Venom book. If you've read a Venom book, that's basically what you can expect. All right, so let's go back to our comments here and see what we have. All right. Got Rob talking. Let's see. All right, let's see what we got here. Hero Time says, also the panel you did the other night, you really shined. Congrats. Hopefully more to come. Thank you very much. I think we're talking about Comic Frontline. That's my other group channel that I do, where I do a live show every Tuesday night with my friends. It takes place at 10 p.m. Eastern time. So if you guys ever want to check that out, go ahead. We talk about our top 5 comic books of the week. We talk about all the comic books news of the week as well. So it's a great show. It's a little bit lengthy. It's about 2 hours long, but you can always watch it post live. So again, it's Comic Frontline. We have our own website and all kinds of stuff. So check that out, guys, if you can. All right. What was the reason why Bendis left Marvel? I really don't know. I think his contract expired, and I don't know if they didn't want to pay him the money or whatever the case may be. I don't quite remember. It's already been a while now. So if anybody else wants to kind of chime in on that, go for it. Roman numerals. That's it. Rob is like my, I guess like my English teacher today. I can't talk and I can't. Yeah, it's perfect. And he's laughing. Jacob says Venom 2099 was dope. So I'm glad you liked it too. Rob says you still rock, dude. Venom 2099 was cool. Hey man, what do you prefer, Marvel or DC? I honestly prefer DC. Well, then you're not going to like my answer, right? All right, my answer here is Marvel. Only reason because it's what I grew up to. Marvel is my my first things I watched on TV was Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends. I mean, that show was on when I was like 7, 8 years old. And so I love that show. And then Spider-Man and Spider-Man, the animated series, that came on. I love that show. And just I had some comic books stored away in a little storage thing when I was younger, and I actually read them, and most of them were Marvel books. There was very few DC ones. So the earliest books I had in my life were Marvel, and I just was attracted to Marvel more. And then as I got old, I wound up experimenting with DC comics because I was old enough to buy my own. And then I was like, oh, let me try some of these DC books. The first full run that I've ever read when it came to a DC title was Green Lantern, the Kyle Rayner series. And that was a great series. I love that book. And I loved Kyle Rayner. He's one of my favorite Green Lanterns. I love that whole Parallax story with Hal Jordan. That thing was awesome, man. All right. So next we have Coffee says, I agree with both of those things, Rob. Okay. And then Xavier says, loved it. And it's Hero Time says, Venom was a fun read. Interested to see if they extend it. Yeah, that is the question. We'll see what happens. Rob's like, coffee. Andrew says, Venom 2099 was fun. That was a killer splash page. It was a creepy book, though. They really made Venom very horrific in that book. And that's what I liked about it. Hero Time says he's agreeing with Andrew, and I do her. You talk about the Venom girl? Who are you talking about? Wow, did I say that out loud? Oh, Hero Time says, hey now, are we making this video not for the kids, guys? I think I already proved that based off of this title. Sorry. It's okay, guys. You guys are fine. Say what you want. Laughing. She's 16. K. Crawl says, I grew up with DC first with the original Christopher Reeve Superman movies, then read the comics. After that, I became a Marvel fan. After seeing the first 2 X-Men films, then read the comics after that. One of my first movies was Superman. But I liked it, but for some reason I just didn't like really enjoy it. I don't know, maybe because I realized it was kind of a cheesy movie, I guess. I don't know. I didn't like how Goody Two Shoes Superman was, you know. Once and Future needs more love. I read that book. It's a very good book. Jacob says, just gotta say it's pronounced Jacob. Oh, okay, so it's Jacob. Just the K threw me off, so it's Jacob. Sorry. Again, my English grammar is not great. I got the first couple issues of Midnight Vista. I haven't gotten around to reading them yet, though. All right, very cool. All right, so thanks, guys, for watching and being patient with me as I receive these ongoing texts. Okay. All right, so you guys ready for more? Let's see. What are we going to talk about now? The next one we're talking about is Batman. I'm Batman, issue 84. 25 viewers, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like I said, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. Again, helps the channel a long way. I know I sound like a broken record when I say that stuff, but just want to remind you guys that that stuff is out there because it's you guys is why the channel has grown so much in the past couple of months. So thank you very much. All right, so we're going to be talking about Batman. This is issue 84. Okay, I'm looking forward to this ending. This was a decent issue. I guess you want to say this is kind of things that have happened in Thomas Wayne's life and why he is the way that he is, I guess. So everything that has happened, you know, you get this one part where it's what happens is it's going on right now. And then everything happens in this book earlier. So every single page earlier. Could you just say earlier throughout just one page and make that the thing? But you get to see all these different things that happen in Thomas Wayne's life, like different events. Like you got to see him deal with the whole like button situation. We get to see him deal with when there was the issue when Superman and Lois and Selena and Bruce wound up going out on the date together, like he was spying on them. You wound up getting to see the relationship with Selena and Thomas as well. You just get to see all these different things that have happened. You get to see Martha, how she like turned into this Joker character because the death of her son Bruce was like too crazy for her. You know, at first you think, oh, it was because of the pearls. She lost the pearls. It wasn't that. It was because of her death, of her son's death. You get to see like different heroes that he has killed in the different universes. There's just all kinds of crazy stuff. There wasn't really that much that really happened that really progressed the story. Again, you just see the reason, all these things that Thomas Wayne has gone through on why he wanted to protect his son and why his son wished his son wasn't Batman. So I thought that was kind of cool. But in my opinion, this is just more of the same, more of a stall, more to drag out the story. There's not really much to say when it comes to Batman here. You know, Thomas Wayne just sits there and talks to Bruce and says, you know what, stay down, just live your life, marry the girl, you know, get out of this horror and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, it was good, but it's just more of a stall. Just freaking end the story already. Why do we got to drag it out? I mean, I have nothing else to say about that book. You know, it's just, I feel like I'm very repetitive when it comes to it, but there's nothing really much there that happened. I mean, I like Thomas Wayne, and it's cool to see a glimpse into his world and what he's done. Artwork changes pretty much every issue, so I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. All right, so let's go into a couple of the comments here before we move on to the next book. Let's see. That got awkward. Well, maybe I'll show you another female in another comic, and maybe she'll be older. Jacob says, LOL. He's laughing. Rob says, did you get Ghost Rider $29.99? And if you did, which covers? I actually didn't. That's one of the ones I did not get because I'm just not a Ghost Rider fan. I never have. I've tried reading Ghost Rider in the past, but I've always been burnt on it, and I just find myself bored by it. Hero Time says, lost interest in the Batman City of Bane. Can't wait till it moves on. Yeah, and we're getting very close to the new creative team, and I'm hoping that it will be a much better read in the future. All right, let's see. Anyone else waiting for 86 when King is off the book? And maybe we can just get some action in that title. I agree with you there. This book has just been love letter after love letter, marriage, not marriage, family problems. Just nothing ever happens. I think a couple issues ago there was a very action-heavy book, but you don't see it. It's very far and few between, And Hero Time says, "Yep, it's time." K. Crawl says, I've read the first few arcs of Tom King's Batman run, but after the wedding issue, I stopped reading the book. I've been off and on with the series. We'll be happy when the next writer comes on. So there's another comment there when it comes to Tom King's Batman. And I think a lot of people did. They got upset once Selina and Bruce kind of went their separate ways. And it was just like a big cop out. It was like this big ordeal. And it's just like, no, just kidding. We're not going to marry him. And everyone got pissed. Off week, but curious. Did you get the reprint of Spawn 300 with the green 300s? No, I didn't know that actually came out. I did get a reprint of Spawn issue 300 a couple weeks ago, but it did not have a green font. At least I don't think so. I don't know. I'll have to double check and see. All right, so hear that? That's a truck or a lawnmower. I think it's a lawnmower. Every time I happen to do videos, the lawnmowers start. I only have, there's a lot of houses in this neighborhood. Why does it have to be mowed right when I do a video? It's freaking pisses me off. It's so funny. All right. So let's move on to our next book, shall we? All right. So the next one is going to go to a good book. This one is good. Dead Eyes, issue 3. Guys, who is reading Dead Eyes out there? Are any of you guys reading this book? If you are, put a yay. If not, put a nay. And if you're not sure if you should have, I say go buy this book. This is a great flipping book, guys. Awesome book. Okay, so we have this guy who was a retired, I don't know, bank robber, burglar, murderer, whatever you want to call him. He's a villain, criminal, right? Very smart, the best in his time. Probably he was this guy in the 90s, okay? And he's retired. And his wife or his girlfriend is sick. She knows about his past. What the fuck is that noise? What is that? Anyway, yeah. So she knows about him, and he's taking care of her. He has really no money left, but it was all good. And he tried to go on this job. He's trying to work at Walmart and trying to do a steady living, and he just can't cut it. So he's been doing things off on the side, right? And so he winds up trying to get back into it because his wife wound up getting really sick. She's in the hospital. He's got to pay for the medical bills. It's thousands and thousands of dollars. The last issue, he tries to rob a bank, and his getaway driver, his name is Wheels. And when he went to go with his getaway driver, his getaway driver suffered from diabetic shock, and he was drunk. So he couldn't get away. He tried driving away from the police. He crashed into a car. The fucking dude wound up, his getaway driver went through the window. He brought him to the hospital. It's so crazy, man. And now the mafia is after him because they think Dead Eyes stole all their money, and he really didn't. So now in this issue, you see our Dead Eyes actually try to get away from this mafia because they're in the hospital investigating what's happening. So he disguises himself as a nurse, right? And they see him questioning his his getaway driver. And so he brings in nitrous oxide into the room and turns it on, and they start laughing their asses off, right? They're like, oh, I can't stop. And then his best friend, his getaway driver, is all stitched up, and he's laughing. He's like, it hurts. The stitches are coming undone. And so what happens is the guys were kind of onto him and that he was sneaking around. So Deadeyes brings this dude to the MRI machine, and he turns it on. And the guy sticks to the freaking MRI machine, and his gun like rips off his hand. The knife goes in his freaking head. Dude, this book is insane. It is off the hook, man. This shit is so good. The artwork is wonderful. This book is written by Jerry Duggan. It is a phenomenal read. So at the end of the day, we wind up seeing Deadeyes, who winds up escaping from the bad guys. He winds up taking one of the cronies with him, and one of his cronies says, you know, why are the mafia blaming me for stealing the money? He's like, I didn't touch anything. So the other guy gives him the whole story, and little find out is that the score is still out there. So now Deadeyes wants a piece of that money, and he's going to go to that location and find that freaking money. Guys, this book is the shit, man. I'm telling you, pick this crap up. You're not going to be disappointed. It's like he's the smartest bad guy ever. He like plans for all contingencies of what's going to happen. And it's like one of those books that you want to root for this good guy because it's kind of coming from a good place. He wants to do good, right? It's like he wants to pay for his wife's medical bills. He wound up paying for his wife's roommate's medical bills because they couldn't even watch TV or turn on the Wi-Fi because they charges all this money. Dude, it's so good, man. Check this book out. Deadeyes is awesome. Read it, especially when it comes out in trade. All right, so what do we have here? Let's see. Comments. I think we're here. Andrew. Batman has been hit or miss for me. When King is good, he's really good. Excited to see what Tinian the Fourth is going to do. LOL, in December, lawnmower. Yep, there's no snow here. It's been cold, though. It's been in the 40s for the past 4 nights. Maybe that's hot for you guys if you're up north. All right. It's hero time, says, really like Deadeyes. Rob says, yes, Deadeyes. Xavier Frank says, yay, but didn't get issue 3. Man, you're going to love it. Every issue is like, has some kind of action scene that just is a page turner. The best thing is when those bad guys were laughing from the nitrous oxide, man. They're just like, oh, it's Deadeyes. Oh, you're going to fucking die. It's just so funny, man. All right, let's see. Yay, hell yeah. What else we got? Deadeyes is great. Rob's like, LOL, what WTF? What's up with Dead Rabbit? Who had the rights to that name? Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure who had the rights to that name. They obviously, that's why they had to change it all. But I think I actually like Deadeyes better. I think it sounds fine. You know, if you have that Dead Rabbit book, though, that's probably worth some coin. Vinny's on the show. I'm going to get in this trade. Definitely get this trade, Vinny. Andrew says, I let my 70-year-old dad read Deadeyes, and he told me that comic was really good. It really spoke to me. I'm a little concerned. Was he a crook? Coffee Breath says, I haven't read the issue yet. Someone tell me when I can unmute, please. You can unmute now, Coffee. I'm not going to really talk about it anymore. LOL, Andrew. Dead Rabbit was the name of the bar in New York City. Okay, that's good stuff to know. All right. Deadeyes needs to be a Netflix series. I would watch that. I agree with you. That would be hilarious. I can't wait to get home to read it. Oh, you're going to love it, Coffee. The bar sells really cool merch now. I have Dead Rabbit books. Wow, that's cool. So you actually have the Dead Rabbit book? That's awesome. Yeah, hold on to that because I think that's going to be worth money. And that freaking whatever's going on out there is really pissing me off. Guys, I'm sorry if it's bothering you too, okay? So bear with it. That's what happens when you do your show in a flipping garage. All right, so let's move on. We're going to go on to Marauders here. So we're moving on to Marauders. This is issue 3 now. This book was all right for me. It wasn't great. I'm not really that familiar with Sebastian Shaw, and this was centered around that particular character. And we find out that his son winds up being resurrected in the particular issue. So that's what happens here. So he's resurrected in there. And what happens is you see Shaw basically give him the tour of what's happening with Krakoa, and kind of like his plans with the son and with his son, and how eventually the mutants are still all going to, be the top species, and they're going to be the wealthiest species, and what his plans are going to be and whatnot. But there wasn't really anything here that I was just like, well, this is a game changer. And I guess Shaw had his plans, and I don't know if his plans are going to work out according. Thank God the noise stopped. So I don't know if his plans are going to be, are going to come true. Who knows, though? I was a little bit off with this particular issue. I just didn't know exactly what was happening here. So it was okay for me. I don't have much to say about this particular one. Did you guys read Marauders? If you have any other insight for this particular book, for this issue, maybe give it to me. But this one was kind of it was okay for me. I still like this book. I'm going to read it. Again, I'm just not a huge Sebastian Shaw fan, and wasn't very familiar with his son Shinobi as well. So we'll see what happens. And every time I hear Shinobi, it reminds me of the old Sega Genesis games, Shinobi. If you guys remember that, you might be too young for that, but that's what it reminded me of. So, and all I know is like the son wanted to kill his father. So I don't know. And we guess maybe there's other mutants involved behind what you think is behind Shinobi's death, because when you look at it, it looks like his hand was phased through his brain. So you got to think that it's because of Kitty Pryde why his son was killed to begin with. So maybe Sebastian Shaw has something against Kitty Pryde in the particular book. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. All right. One lonely comment since then, because no one was excited about Marauders, I don't think. Marauders 3 is a building episode. And Rob said he just purchased the rabbit version, which is really cool. And he's laughing at Shinobi. LL, lots of quarters in Shinobi. I did too, man. I played so much in that game when it came out. I was just like, boop, boop, boop. And then I remember I had the Sega Master System. I think it came out. Was it for the Genesis or for the Master System? I don't know. Whatever it was, I did play it on that system as well. And I remembered I was like, yes, Shinobi. And it wasn't quite as good, though, in the arcade. I remember when, like, arcade systems were still better than the home entertainment systems, right? All right. So now let's talk about the book of the day, basically what fits this title of this show. And this is a X-Men issue 3. I got this variant cover, the Alex Ross variant cover. I'll take the banner off so you guys can see it. This was a really nice cover. This like screams classic X-Men here. So really enjoyed that cover. Really enjoyed this book too. I cannot believe, out of all things in this world, they shoved old women in an X-Men book and they kicked X-Men ass. I was laughing my ass off in this particular book. X-Men is just a little bit of everywhere, right? You kind of don't know where they're going. It's like Hickman is doing the Hickman thing. One issue, he's dropping the Golden Girls in there. The other issue, he's dropping the islands having sex with each other and the Summoners. The one issue, he's getting the Summers family together and they have adjoining rooms. You know, there's all kinds of crazy stuff happening in this book. And in this particular issue, we find out that there's this gate that has been compromised, and it's the gate to the Savage Land, okay? And anything that seems to happen in these X-Men books always happens because the gates are fucked up. That's basically what happens in this book. Okay. And so what happens is you think like it's like these really cool, awesome looking characters, and they're really strong, and they took out Pixie. I don't think that's anything impressive. But you're like, oh, okay, yeah, there's some new bad guys coming in here. And then it kind of just stops, right? And then what happens is we go to the Jean Grey and Emma Frost and Cyclops scene, where it's just like he's all over Jean, and then of course, Emma Frost is a little jealous and whatnot, and she's like, yeah, my hair is perfect, and she's like, hey, I gotta tell you, I love those shoes. He's like, why? Thank you, Jean. I would offer to let them borrow you, but they're a couple of sizes too small. And she basically calls Emma a whore in this book, and you're just like, oh my God, that's so crazy, And then it's just like, okay, the book gets serious now, And so what happens is when we find out that we get these characters that come through this portal, they're old women. They range from the ages of 60 to 81 years old. And it says it in the back. Yeah, 64, 68, 71, and 81 years old. And they kick these X-Men's ass, and they want the Krakoan flowers for their own personal use because they want the human population to decrease to a more satisfying way of life so the world can survive. And it's basically what they want is opposite what the X-Men want, because the X-Men are giving them these drugs. They want more X-Men. The people are living longer. So it's crazy stuff. And the dialogue in his book with these old women are just hysterical. I mean, I am laughing my butt off. So you wind up seeing that these women meet up with Cyclops and Emma, Sebastian Shaw, and they take what's his name, Gateway, with them or whatnot. And so the the first thing that comes out of this old lady's mouth is she goes, I like married men and taking all their things. It's not my fault that sometimes they die in car crashes. And then the one lady goes, speaking of unsavory women, this one looks like a tart. And then the other one goes, she dresses like an S word with a serious P word problem. You need to wash yourself, girl. And the facial expressions on Emma Frost and Sebastian Shaw, they are just hilarious. And Cyclops just looks, it is great. And then you wind up seeing these ladies, they kick ass. They kick Sebastian Shaw in the eyeball. They knock him on the ground. They start hitting him with their weapons and stuff. And you learn a little bit about them and where they come from, and how they create their like own type of weird flowers and stuff like that. And it's just weird, man. It's a book that's way out there. And what happens is they basically hand it to them, and they steal the flowers and they leave. And it looks like they have pretty much a bigger problem on their hands. And then you get the white pages at the end that explains who these characters are. The horticulture is what they're called. And the names are Augusta Bromes, Opal Ventavir, Lily Lemus, Edith Scouch. And it's crazy. And they're like botanists and stuff like that. So, yeah. The old women won, right? Never would have thought that in my wildest dreams that Hickman would throw that out there for the world to read, where he throws a bunch of old women in there. But hey, it's awesome. Can't complain, right? Let's see what we have in our comments, guys. Oh, old ladies did work. All right. Here we go. So Rob says, wow, you're old as me. Yep, I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 in February. Coffee Breath says, beautiful cover. So loves the Alex Ross cover. Andrew says, I played the heck out of Shinobi. I love that. And I don't know if you guys remember, this game is called Space Harrier. I love that game. This guy flying around and he shot things. That's all he did. And all the stuff was coming at you. I spent tons of money on that game. Xavier says, old ladies did work. Brian just is laughing. Rob says it's an awesome cover, and I just can't get back into X-Men. Oh, too bad, Rob. It does take an acquired taste to read Hickman's writing. And after reading all 6 of these first books, I can honestly say 2 of them I love. The third one is okay, and then the other couple are just, they're not for me as much, like Fallen Angels and Excalibur and New Mutants. Andrew says the Ross cover is absolutely beautiful. And Coffee Breath says, welcome, Grandpa. Rob Botswa says Frosty. And Grandpa Comics says, thanks. I love Grandpa. He's on here all the time. I do. Okay, Rob. This time you're like, I'll do her. So are we talking about Emma Frost in this one? Hickman can write mind-blowing world building and a great cat fight. Absolutely. Xavier says, LOL. She's 81, Rob. Oh, so we talking about the old lady. So we went from really young to really old. Oh, laughing. Grandpa says, I love when Mike goes live. I really appreciate it, guys. Rob's like, roar, cougar. And then X-Men was fun. And then it's Hero Time says he's 44 as well. So yeah, guys. Those are the books for this week. I'm glad you guys enjoyed the show. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the rest of your books. Hopefully I'll enjoy the rest of my books. And again, guys, if you like this video, again, thumbs up, subscribe. If you're if you're in position to, if you want to send a donation, that's great too. Just send it through the super chat. Helps grow the channel. And if you guys are not familiar with any of my other content, I'm going to spill it out there for you right now, real quick. So in case you guys haven't seen some of my other stuff. So here we go. Oh, Rob, another $2 super chat. Thanks, bud. I really appreciate it. And he's 48. So thank you so much. Thank you, my friend. So starting off on Mondays, guys, every Monday I have my top 10 comic book covers of the week where you guys can actually vote on what your favorite comic book cover is. And very soon we're coming to the end of the year where we're going to have the final vote of the year and see what comic book cover wins. Okay. On Tuesdays, you guys get to have you guys will get to see my top 10 most anticipated covers or comic books for a week ahead of time. So hopefully you guys will be able to check that out. Every Wednesday is my comic book haul. I'm on the 400th, going on the 403rd episode. Thursday, you already know what happens here. You get to witness After the Poll, where it's my live show where I talk about some of the comics that I read and if they lived up to the hype after the poll. On Fridays, kind of on monthly series or maybe every once in a while, depends. You'll get a random video and you'll get my previews video where you get to see either a DC preview or Marvel preview, indie preview, things like that. And then pretty much on the weekends, I'm pretty much free. I kind of step away, read my books, prepare for the following week. And then again, Tuesday night, check out Comic Frontline, guys, YouTube channel. And I'm on with a panel of my friends where I do a live show called Comic Book Weekly. You guys can check that out. It's awesome. It's a lot of fun. And we talk about comic books for almost 2 hours. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that. So again, guys, you are awesome. Thank you for making this channel thrive. I wouldn't do it without you guys. You guys are so good. And I love the participation and the comments every time that you guys comment on my videos. I try to comment back as much as possible, because again, I feel that without you guys, it doesn't work for me. So guys, until next week and throughout the comments throughout the week, guys, enjoy your weekend. And thank you so much. This is Mike Spider Slayer signing off. And you've been watching Comic Book Corner 2.0. Take care, everyone. See you soon. Bye.